Yo guys, and welcome back to another Spider-Man PS4 video, and today we're going to be talking about a topic that not many people have brought up in the past, which is Gwen Stacy alive in the Spider-Man PS4 universe? Now we know that in the comics Gwen Stacy died in Spider-Man's early career to the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, and it would be fair to assume that Gwen is dead in this universe, as Peter is currently 8 years into his Spider-Man career thus far, once we get to the time of the game. Now this should be enough evidence to assume that she is dead because she is nowhere to be seen in the game and hasn't even been mentioned. However, there is some compelling evidence to say that she isn't actually dead in this universe that Insomniac have built. The first piece of evidence is that Green Goblin kills Gwen Stacy, and the matter of the fact is that Peter Parker hasn't even encountered the Green Goblin before, and Norman has never become the Goblin in those 8 years, as he's clearly been set up for the villain of the sequel, Spider-Man PS5. Well then you could say another villain from Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery killed Gwen, right? Well, the next piece of evidence is that Insomniac have said, and I quote, "Who said Gwen's dead in our universe?" Meaning that Gwen Stacy is in fact not dead in the Spider-Man PS4 universe. There is a chance that they are messing with us to create suspense, and this could actually be a part of a future storyline where Peter deals with her death again in some kind of way. Or it could be similar to the Sam Raimi trilogy, where Gwen wasn't even introduced until later on in the series, which begs the question, could Gwen Stacy show up in Spider-Man PS5 or any future installment? And if she does, what will her role be? Honestly, if Gwen Stacy shows up in Spider-Man PS5, I think this could go one of three ways, but will always eventually end up ending the same. The first option is that Gwen Stacy could show up as a direct love interest for Peter Parker, in that one of the subplots for the next game will be that there will be a love triangle between Peter, MJ, and Gwen. This will add a certain dynamic to the story and really home in on that aspect of Spider-Man mythos. This could also add some cool gameplay options similar to Spider-Man Web of Shadows, where you could choose between a light option and a dark option, in that you could choose MJ or Gwen. And since the symbiote makes an appearance, or at least we're assuming that it makes an appearance in at least the form of Venom, maybe even Spider-Man gets the symbiote in this game, it could be fair to assume that this sort of thing will happen similar to Web of Shadows. You could choose MJ as the good side, or Black Cat as the dark and mysterious symbiote side. Instead here it would be MJ or Gwen that you choose from, or something of the sorts. The next option of how Gwen could serve the story in the next game is not through a love triangle, and honestly, I think in my personal opinion, this option is more viable if she eventually does show up, as we know Spider-Man PS4 and Insomniac's universe like to do things a little differently. She could show up as someone who helps Peter, similar to Yuri in the first game. She could take the role as a scientist who helps Peter out on missions, but will simply be there in the background most of the time, but at the forefront enough of the time to be considered a main character. This would then leave the love triangle aspect alone, as that dynamic could detract from the main story of the sequel if they are not careful. As cool as it would be to delve into Peter's love life a bit, the direction that it looks like they are taking in the sequel, setting up Green Goblin, Venom, possibly even Mysterio and villains like Kraven, and Miles learning and becoming a new Spider-Man, I think that it might add that little too much into the game as another subplot and might overstuff a couple of viewers. So it might not be that necessary. The third and final option could be a love interest for Miles Morales. This could be interesting for Miles, as it looks like going forward into the future, maybe even in possible games where he is the solo character, we might be focusing more on his character in the sequel as he learns to use his powers in this universe. This could then add to Miles' story without interfering with Peter's story, and it would be a cool reference to how Gwen was used as the love interest in Into the Spider-Verse as well. And since many kids and many fresh minds to the Spider-Man mythos has been introduced to the Into the Spider-Verse universe, they know Gwen Stacy as the Miles Morales love interest instead of the Peter Parker love interest. They are used to that more than they would be with Peter Parker. So going in this direction and going forward, one, it would be different to most things that have been done before, but it also would make sense. However, with all these options, I think if Gwen was introduced into this game, and with the inclusion of what looks like the Green Goblin, Gwen could be in for a little bit of a bumpy ride, if you know what I mean. Yes, Gwen Stacy, if introduced, could die in this game, and that could be a main focal point and would definitely affect Miles's and Peter's and MJ's characters and would give them some development. So if she's not already dead, she could die. But with that being said, those are some theories about Gwen Stacy in the Spider-Man PS4 universe. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you are new. We are pushing for that 5k. Hopefully we can reach that goal very soon. With that being said, thank you guys for watching once again. Follow the socials in the description. Subscribe to Slightly Insulting, where I make Minecraft machinimas. And with that being said, once again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.